Hi friends, welcome to Curie Electronics. Today I am going to solve VSSC 2016 Technician-B Electronics question paper. This is the part 1. All of you please share the video with your friends and press the like button. Okay, we'll start. Question number question number 1. If the bandwidth of a band pass filter increases, what happens? To solve this question, I will draw the resonance curve. So this is the frequency and this is the current I. We will get a curve like this. This is the maximum value. This I will take it as Im by root 2. That is the max value divided by root 2. This is the cut omega 1 and omega 2 half power frequencies omega 2. Now bandwidth equals omega 2 minus omega 1. So omega 2 minus omega 1 bandwidth equal to R divided by L. Omega 2 minus omega 1 equals, here numerator and denominator I will multiply by omega naught. Omega naught is the sender frequency. Omega naught is the resonance frequency or the sender frequency. So R omega naught divided by L omega naught, which equal to R by L omega naught multiplied by omega naught. So this comes to omega 2 minus omega 1 equals this R by L omega naught can be written as 1 by Q naught. Q naught is the quality factor multiplied by omega naught. Now we can say bandwidth is inversely proportional to 1 by Q naught. That means when bandwidth increases, Q factor decreases. So the answer is option A, Q decreases. When Q decreases, selectivity also decreases. When Q decreases, selectivity also decreases. So we'll go to the second question. Question number 2. We have to, when a 0.16 microfarad capacitor is connected to a 1 kilohertz source, what is its approximate capacitive reactance? So for this capacitance, we have to find the capacitive reactance at this particular frequency. Xc equal to 1 divided by 2 pi Fc is the equation. So which equals, if you put the values, 1 divided by 2 pi multiplied by what is the frequency? 1001 kilohertz, that is 1000 hertz. Capacitance value equal to 0.16 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 6, which equals 1 divided by 6.28 multiplied by 0.16 multiplied by 1000 and the denominator we will get 10 to the power 6. So it comes to 10 to the power 6 divided by 1000. So we'll get answer equal to 1000 ohms. 1000 ohm is the capacity reactance of the 0.16 microfarad at 1 kilohertz. Answer option B. Question number 3. What is the total capacitance in the given circuit? If we look at these two capacitors, 6 farad and 6 farad and 6 farad capacitors are in parallel. So we will get a total of 12 farads. It's just opposite the resistors. Now two farad capacitors are connected in parallel. When two same value capacitors are connected in parallel, their capacitance is equal to value of capacitance, that is 2 divided by number of capacitors, that is 2 by 2. So 1 farad will get it. So total capacitance equal to CT equal to 12 plus 1, that is 13 farad. Answer is option B. Question number 4. You could increase the time constant of an RC circuit by. What is an RC circuit? A resistor and capacitor. This is an RC circuit. It's a voltage, a resistance and capacitor. This is an RC circuit. RC circuit time constant. The time constant is the question, that is tau. Tau is given as resistance multiplied by capacitance. Now if we increase either resistance or capacitor, we can increase the value of time constant. To do so, we have to either increase the resistor in series or capacitor in parallel. Now we will see the options. Option A, adding a resistor in parallel with the circuit resistance. If you when resistors are connected in parallel, the value decreases. Adding a capacitor in parallel with the circuit capacitance, that is, if you add one more capacitor in parallel, its capacitance value increases. So in turn, our tau or time constant increases. So answer is option B. Question number 5. What is this circuit? This circuit is a low pass filter. This circuit is a low pass filter. Now, every filter will have a cutoff frequency. What is the cutoff frequency of a low pass filter? That is 1 by 2 pi RC, which is equal to 1 divided by 2 into pi multiplied by R. What is R value? 2 into 10 to the power 3 multiplied by 1 into 10 to the power minus 6. If we solve, this comes to nearly 80 Hertz. So 80 Hertz is the cutoff frequency of this low pass filter. So if you draw a frequency versus voltage, this will allow, see, at this frequency, this is the cutoff frequency, that is 80 Hertz. Our given frequency is 60 Hertz, somewhere here we can take it. So this will pass all the 60 Hertz waveform. So this answer is option D, low pass filter. The given circuit is a low pass filter. Question number 6. A 1 kHz square wave is applied to the circuit below. In the output waveform will look like. So a square waveform is applied to the circuit. Now if you calculate the RC time constant of the circuit, what will be the value we get? RC time constant of the circuit, that is 10 multiplied by 10 to the power 3 multiplied by 0.01 microfarad, 10 to the power minus 6. So 10 to the power 4 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 8. So we will get 10 to the power minus 4, which can be written as 1 divided by 10,000, which equal to 1 by 10 equal to, no, if you write 0,001, which can be written as 0.1 millisecond. 0.1 millisecond. So the RC time constant of the circuit is 0.1 millisecond. And what is the, for 1 kilohertz, frequency equal to 1 kilohertz. So T equal to 1 by F, that is 1 by 1000, which equal to 0.001, 1 millisecond, 1 millisecond. Now 1 millisecond. So there is a difference between 10 times. The input time period is much higher than the RC time constant. RC, this time period, this, what is the circuit F frequency, what is signal time period of signal, it is 10 times the circuit RC. When it happens, we will get a output as this waveform. We will get output as this waveform. Okay. So the answer is option C. This integrated circuit. This I will explain. I will try to make a small video. It takes more time to explain all the what happens with the higher frequency, lower frequency, medium frequency, like that. Question number 7. What is the energy dissipated in the resistor R in the circuit below for fully charging the capacitor? Now, what is the current flowing once a capacitor is connected to the circuit? That is 0 plus I plus instant current will be high. That current is V by R. This voltage divided by R will give the maximum current V by R. This is at the power on time. Now, what at infinite time what happens? What is the current flowing through capacitor? That is 0 amps. Now, what is the current through the capacitor at any time? That is I max. I max equal to what? V by R into e to the power minus T by RC. At any time, we can, using this equation, we can find the current through the capacitor. Now, what is power? What you have to find the energy. We have to find the energy only in the circuit. Energy equal to, if you do integration of power, we will get, if you do integration of power with respect to time, we will get the energy. Okay. Now we will find what is the energy. What is the energy given by this source? Energy provided by the voltage source. E equal to integral of, we will take 0 to infinity, P dt. What is, that is 0 to infinity, P, what is the power voltage multiplied by this current equation, V by R into V by R my e to the power minus T by RC into dt. With respect to dt, we are integrating. So what comes, which equals V square by R is a constant. Now when we integrate e to the power minus T by RC, what we will get? Oh no, we have to integrate e to the power minus T by RC dt, which equals V square by R. If we do the integration, we'll get e to the power minus t by RC divided by minus 1 by RC. Okay, now which is equal to, I'll write here, which equals V square by R. This is there in the numerator. Yes, numerator minus multiplied by minus 1 by RC. This R and R cancels. Here 0 to infinity is there. Okay, now what is there? E to the power minus t by RC, 0 to infinite, which equals what we get here? V square. V square CV square minus CV square we get here. Minus CV square. Now e to the power minus infinity by RC, e to the power minus infinity. E to the power minus infinity minus e to the power 0. What comes? It comes to minus CV square minus CB square, e to the power minus infinity equal to 0, e to the power 0 equal to 1. So we get CB square. That is this voltage source energy supplied by V equal to CV square. If energy supplied by the source is CB square, what is, so total energy equal to what? Total E total equal to energy supplied plus energy dissipated. Total energy is CV. And what is the energy? Energy is here, supplied energy is stored by the capacitor. Capacitor, what is the energy stored by capacitor? That is half CV square. What is the energy dissipated? ED. Now ED we have to find. What is ED? So from here this equation, ED equals CV minus half CV square, which equal to half CV square. So the answer is option B, half CV square. We'll go to the next question. VSSC, for VSSC exam, you need a little bit, you have to study more than ITA level. Then only you can clear, not only clear, you can get good marks in VSSC. So that you should try to solve some more complicated problems. The circuit given below, the capacitors are fully charged. What is the voltage across C1, C2, C3? Now, first we have to find the equivalent capacitance. We have to find the charge actually. The same charge flows through this circuit. Okay, that I'll take it as QT. So QT we have to find. QT equal to C equivalent multiplied by voltage, that is a 10 volt. Now C equivalent we have to find, that is 1 by C equivalent equals 1 by 4 farad plus 1 by 4 farad plus 1 by 2 farad. If we take, so 1 by C equivalent equal to, we take LCM, it's 4, 1 plus 1 plus 2, which equal to 1. So C equivalent comes to 1 farad. Now total QT, what is QT? What is total charge? That is C equivalent multiplied by voltage. Okay. So it comes to 1 multiplied by 10. So it is 10 coulomb. We got 10 coulomb. Okay, we got 10 coulomb. Now we have to find the voltage across each capacitor. Q equal to CV. we will use same equation. Here instead of Q we will take Qt. So across for C1 we will take it as V1. V1 equal to, this is V1, V2 and this is V3. V1 equal to Q by C. What is Q? That is 10. 10 divided by C, 4 equal to 2.5 volt. Similarly, V2 also we will get same 2.5 volt. V3 equals to 10 divided by 2, 2 farad. So we'll get 5 volt. So the answer is option D. Question number 9. Question number 9. What is the voltage across a capacitor after being charged from 10 volt DC source for a period of one time constant? If this is the time, this is the voltage across capacitor, the voltage rises like this. So after 63% of the maximum charge of the capacitor, if you take the maximum charging of the capacitor, that is whatever the source voltage or battery, whatever the maximum, whatever the voltage can be supplied by a battery to the capacitor, that will take it as maximum. Out of 63% of that value is one time constant. This is called 1 tau. This is 1 tau. Okay, at 1 tau, 63% value the capacitor charges. So Vc after one time period equals 0.63 multiplied by 10 volt. It comes to 6.3 volt. So the answer is option C. In the circuit shown below will pass higher frequencies, pass lower frequencies, block higher frequencies, block a range of frequencies. So how does it work? See, what is the equation for XL? XL equals reactive impedance. Reactive impedance, that is 2 pi FL. This XL increases with frequency. So at lower frequencies, now what happens? This circuit, it will pass higher frequencies. Why it passes higher frequencies? Because this inductor at higher frequencies, inductor provides high opposition to the flow of current through this. At lower frequencies, assume that if you are giving a DC, what will happen? These 2 points just act like a short. So we won't get any output. So the circuit passes the higher frequencies. Question number 11. What is the current in the circuit given below? What is the current in the circuit given below? One feeder is there. Okay. Feeder is used as a regulator here. Or it is. Now what happens? This side is 10 volt. Okay, if you take this resistor, one end is connected to 10 volt. Other end is connected to 5.1 volt. 5.1 volt, and this is a 490 ohm resistor. 490 ohm. Now if you want the current flow through this, 10 minus 5.1 divided by 490 ohm, this gives the current through it. That is 4.9 divided by 490. Okay, which can be written as 4.9 divided by 4.9 into 100. So we will get 1. Now this is 1 by 100, which equal to 0.01, which equal to 0.01 amps, which equal to 10 milliamps. So the answer is option A, 10 milliamps. Question number 12. What is the approximate peak current through the diode? Now, This 230 volt is, what is this 230 volt? This 230 volt is the RMS voltage. It is not the peak voltage. Okay, you have to careful about it. Now, we having a transformer with step down ratio of 23:1. That is, if we have a 230 volt here, we'll get 10 volt here. Now, 10 volt is there in the secondary. That's RMS voltage. Now, IRMS. What is the IRMS value? That is 10 divided by, we'll assume that this diode is ideal diode. Okay, 10 divided by 141 ohms. It comes to 0.070. This so many amps will flow. But we want I peak. I peak equal to 0.070 multiplied by, we have to multiply this by root 2. That is 1.414, which comes to 0.1 amps. So you convert to milliamps, it will be 100 milliamps. So the answer is option C. Question number 13. Which of the following conditions are needed to properly bias an NPN transistor amplifier? For an NPN transistor amplifier, base emitter should be forward biased and base collector should be reverse biased. So the answer is forward bias the emitter base junction and reverse bias the base collector junction. Option A. Question number 14. What is the fault in the given circuit if the voltmeter reading is 8 volt? Okay, if the voltmeter reading is 8 volt, what is the fault? Feeder is short, feeder is open, not enough data, there is no fault. Now we'll assume that, first we'll assume that the feeder is short. If feeder is short, what happens? We have a 490 ohm resistor, then we have 1.9k, 1.96 kilo ohm resistor, and we have 10 volt source short. I am assuming that signal is short. Okay, this 10 volt, and here I'm connecting my multimeter here, plus terminal of multimeter and negative terminal of multimeter. If it short happens, see, if the signal is short, or both the current won't flow through this resistor. This resistor is just like an open circuit. The entire current flows through this. Then the multimeter probes are connected to both are at the same potential. One probe is coming here, another probe is coming here. So both are at same potential. We'll get 0 volt output. So this is not the case. We are having 8 volt. Okay, now we will consider the next step. If sensor is open, what happens? If sensor is open, we have a 10 volt source here. Sensor is open here, and we have a 1 point out. We have 1.96 K, and here we have 490 ohms. So for convenience, I will take this as 500 ohms and this as 2K. 10 volt is there. Sensor is open. If sensor is open, this will act like a voltage divider. Okay, voltage divider. This will act like a voltage divider. Voltage divider. In a voltage divider, what happens? What is the midpoint voltage? What is the voltage here? V equals I'll mention this as V1. V1 equals total voltage divided by this resistor R2. This R2, this is R1. R2. R2 equal to what value? 2K I will take it. Divided by 2 plus 0.5, 0.5K. So what, which equal to 20 divided by 2.5. It comes to 8 volt. So this is correct. The answer is scenario is open. Option B. Question number 15. If the input to a comparator is a sine wave, the output is, see, in the comparator we can give a reference voltage or we can ground it. If we give a sine wave here, now instead of giving it ground, we will give some V. We will get a output like a rectangular wave or square wave. We will get it. So the answer is option C, rectangular wave. Question number 16. A transistor has a BDC of beta DC of 60 and a base current IB of 20 microamps. The collector current IC equals, what is the IC in a common emitter configuration? IC equal to beta times IB. Here beta equal to 60 and the IB equal to 20 microamps. So if you multiply, we will get 1200 microamps. So the answer is option B. Question number 17. In a CE configuration, an emitter resistor is used for. In a C amplifier, if we see C amplifier, there will be a collector resistor, then there will be a base voltage divider biasing, and also one resistor will be there. There is also a capacitor. This resistor is used for voltage stabilization. So answer is option A. Question number 18. The number of bits used to store a BCD digit is. See, BCD binary coded decimal. We will use to 0 to 9, we will store like that. To store 0 to 9, that is, if I'll say, what is 9? 9 I'll write 1001. This is equal to 9. So we need 4 bits to store BCD, a digit in BCD. Question number 19. What is the decimal value for the binary number? The binary number is given. Now how do you see? We have this given 1001.0010. Now this one this is the 2 to the power 3, and these two will go to 0. This is in the power of 2 to the power 0. This is 2 to the power minus 1, 2 to the power minus 2, 2 to the power minus 3, 2 to the power minus 4. This all goes off. So what you will get, 8 plus 1, 9 point. These 3 also get cancels. This all because all these are 0. I am not explaining so well. So this is 2 to the power. This I hope all of you know how to convert, how you got 8 plus 1. Now the right side 2 to the power minus 3 is there. So which can be written as, so 9.2 to the power minus 2 to the power minus 3, which is equal to 9.2 to the power 8. No, 2 to the power 3, which is equal to 9 point divided by 1 by 8, which it will come to 9.125. 9.125. Question number 20. A single transistor can be used to build which of the following digital gate? See, we have a NPN transistor here. This I connected to 5 volt. Let's take any resistance value. Just take a 1K. What will be my output? This I'll connect to ground output. So when I give a high, this NPN transistor will turn on and I'll get output like this. When I give high, I will get output low. So this is the NOT gate. Okay. So this can NOT gate. Using a single transistor, we can make a NOT gate. That means, see, when I give high 5 volt here, where here I'll get 0. When I give 0 here, I will get 5 volt because it's equal to high. Question number 21. What is the standard TTL noise margin? For net TTL noise margin equal to 0.4 volt. Question number 22. A device for measuring temperature with negative temperature coefficient. Negative temperature coefficient means what? If you plot a graph of temperature versus resistance, if it goes like this is a negative temperature coefficient, NTC, negative temperature coefficient. The thermistor is used to temperature with negative. Thermistor is the device. Thermistor is having negative temperature coefficient property. So the answer is option B. Question number 23. Which of the following is correct for D-type flip-flop? The output is set or reset as soon as the D input goes high or low. In the output complement follows the input when enabled. Option C. Only one of the inputs can be high at a time. Option D. The output toggles if one of the input is held high. Most suitable is option A. That is, output, if it is input is high, output will be high. If input is low, output will be low. Question number 24. Which of the following can be used for debouncing a switch? What is meant by a debouncing switch? It's connected to ground. Assume that this is 5 volt. When switch closes, it won't go suddenly to low. It will give a fluctuation like this, then it will goes to low. This is what debouncing of the switch. See, before going low or high, it is going high and low intermediately. So this is the debouncing of switch. Debouncing of switch. That is, it is not going perfectly to look high or low. It's like a spring vibrating like that. Pulses are coming. So to avoid this, SR latch is used. Question number 25. This is the last question. So friends, please share the videos with your friends, so they will also be benefited, and press the like button also. Don't forget to press the like button. So this is the today's last question number 25. What is one disadvantage of SR flip-flop? We'll just write the flip-flop output 0 0. When both are 0 0, output also 0. When both are 0 1, then its reset will be 0. When set is 0 1, it will be 1. Then both are 1 1. This is indeterminate state. Indeterminate. We have to avoid this state in SR flip-flop. So this is known as race around condition. So the disadvantage of an SR flip-flop is it has a race condition. Option B. So friends, thanks for watching. Please press the like button, share the video, and if you have any doubt, please put it in the comment section. And if you need any particular video, please let me know. Thanks for watching.